Right now at 6, we have got the latest on an annual fire school that Kansas firefighters from across the state are suiting up for. Plus, we have the opportunity for some pop-up storms today. We also have some patchy dense fog across the area this morning. We'll look at that. And an early morning fire near Carl Junction burns a vacant mobile home. What authorities found when they arrived.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's just after 6 a.m. on this Monday, July the 14th. Happy Monday. Monday is only as bad as you make it. And Monday gets a really bad rap because it wraps up the weekend for most folks, kicks off the work week, and everybody's like, man, Monday, come on. But it is Monday, and we're going to make it through it together because, unfortunately, it looks like our last below normal day, at least for the next several days across the area, as things are getting ready to heat up across the 4 states. Let's start, though, with that live look outside downtown Pittsburgh. We've got some of the low-level clouds because that's also known as fog. Yeah, it's clouds down toward the surface. We do have some fog out there, which we're going to show you the fog tracker in just a moment. MoDOT camera 20th and range line in Joplin. Looks good so far. Here's that fog tracker, though. Again, we have this really dark area. Now it's starting to impact Independence down to just over 6 miles of visibility, but we've had near zero visibility along 166 close to the intersection with 169. So that's one area of concern. We now have another dense area. That's parts of southeastern Delaware and western Benton County, eastern Berry counties. Iola, you've improved a bit back to 5, but take a look. Chanute Yates Center, your visibilities have dropped a bit. Joplin's improved a bit as well. And so has Jasper County. We had some pretty dense fog around Jasper County, stretching northern Newton County. So again, the story here is low beams, not your high beams. We've got patchy fog with rapidly changing visibility conditions across virtually the entire area this morning. So slow down, give yourself time to get where you're going. And remember, it's better to arrive a few minutes late than not at all. Now, the fog will eventually go away because that's what it does, about 8, 9 o'clock or so. Then we're going to open the window for some pop-up storm chances. Now, again, can't emphasize it enough. With pop-up storms, since there's not a specific trigger, the future track, really any future track model, any computer model, has a hard time showing exactly where they're going to be. Are there going to be a bunch of them down south of I-44 this afternoon? Probably not. They could really be anywhere, but future track showing pop-up storms at least is giving us that idea that we could see a few. And of course, we'll start to lose them with the heating of the day. Take a look at that fog. This is the KDOT camera at Kansas Crossing. And I believe it is actually, it's looking back to the north along 69, and you almost can't see anything. So make sure you're slowing down out there. We had 68 both Joplin and in Pittsburgh. Temperatures this morning pretty steady so far, holding out in the upper 60s. Saw a few low 70s here and there, so a decent start temperature-wise, at least to the day. And then we will heat up, but again, technically below normal. We're going to go mid-70s by 9, low 80s by noon, upper 80s where our highs are headed today. Winds will be calm or maybe a light breeze out of the east at best. And of course, we'll have those pop-up storm chances between about 11 a.m. and 7 p.m. with the best window from 2 to 7 this evening or this afternoon. We do have more pop-up storm chances this week, and it's going to get pretty hot. We'll talk about all that here in just a few more minutes. In our top stories this morning, just before 1:45 early Sunday, a reported house fire near Carl Junction on County Lane 263. The Carl Junction Fire Protection District, Webb City Fire, and Jasper County deputies responded to the scene. A double-wide mobile home was found fully involved with fire, and the roof was caving in. Authorities say that no one currently lives there. The cause of the fire is unknown at this time. And the Kansas State Firefighters Association, in collaboration with the Yates Center Fire Department, held a 2-day fire school for firefighters from across the state. Some skills taught on Sunday included search and rescue, how to read smoke, ventilation, and grain elevator emergencies.
Not only do we, the instructors, get to go out and learn and teach firefighters new things or go over things that maybe they learned and haven't touched on for a while, but it also gives us the opportunity to learn a few things from other firefighters.
Now, the KSFFA hosts regional trainings once a month. And with summer surging into higher and higher temperatures, the inside of a car can get dangerously hot. KOAM's Mitch Adams spoke with law enforcement and local animal agencies to find out more.
Every summer, the consequences of leaving kids and pets in hot vehicles makes headlines. According to Kids and Car Safety, from 1990 to 2024, over 1,100 children have died in hot cars in the U.S. What might seem like a quick errand can turn into a life-threatening emergency in just minutes.
Unfortunately, it's kind of reached that time of year for the forest days where, temperatures are up there and easily if a car's left outdoors, and the interior temperatures of that car can soar into the triple digits within an hour. So be very cognizant of items and people or pets that you leave in a motor vehicle at a time like that.
Authorities urge everyone to take simple precautions. Always double-check the back seat before locking the car. It could save a life and help avoid jail time.
Unfortunately, if you do leave a pet or a child in a car like that, you could potentially be looking at criminal consequences for cruelty to animals, for failing to leave an environment of care for that pet. Or if it's a child in there, you're definitely putting the health and safety of that child at risk. So at the very least, that's child endangerment. So there's some very stiff criminal penalties for doing that.
With animals, signs of heat exhaustion can include excessive panting or heightened body temperature.
And once an animal or a child, anybody, has been heat stressed, they're more likely to get heat stressed again. So you have to remember that it won't take as much to have another crisis.
If you see a child or animal left alone in a hot car, take immediate action and call emergency services. In Pittsburgh, Kansas, Mitch Adams, KOAM News.
Authorities say a good way of reminding yourself to check the back seat is by leaving behind an item like a purse or a phone, and just make sure you're always taking a look in those back windows. That's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News, President Trump meets with NATO's chief as he plans to send missiles to Ukraine and threatens new tariffs on U.S. trading partners. A little later, climate disasters are on the rise, and so is anxiety. Why mental health experts say it's taking a toll, especially on young adults and parents. And we've got some fog, we've got some pop-up storm chances. We're going to take a look at all of that here in just a moment. You're watching the KOAM Morning News, time now 6:07, and here is a live look from the Don Brady Park located in Seneca. Topping Nation Watch this morning, President Trump has teased that a big announcement regarding Russia could happen today. The president yesterday told reporters that he is planning to send defensive weapons to help in Ukraine's fight against Russia. This, as the Secretary General of NATO is in Washington today and tomorrow for meetings with President Trump, members of his cabinet, and federal lawmakers. CBS News' Bradley Blackburn has more from New York.
President Trump is set to meet with NATO's Secretary General amid plans to pass weapons to Ukraine through NATO allies.
The European Union is paying for it. We're not paying anything for it, but we will send it. It'll be business for us, and we will send them Patriots, which they desperately need.
President Trump yesterday did not say how many Patriot missiles he plans to send, though the move comes as Russia has stepped up air attacks on Ukraine in recent weeks, despite international calls for a ceasefire. Sunday, the president said he's disappointed with Russian President Vladimir Putin.
I thought he was somebody that meant what he said, and he'll talk so beautifully, and then he'll bomb people at night. We don't like that.
A turning point regarding Russia invasion of Ukraine is coming.
On CBS News Face the Nation, Senators Lindsey Graham and Richard Blumenthal pushed a bipartisan Senate bill that would allow the U.S. to slap a 500% tariff on countries that continue to purchase oil from Russia, like Brazil, China, and India.
I think a multifaceted approach here is the only way to bring Putin to the table, because he's a thug. He understands only force.
Meanwhile, both the European Union and Mexico say they're seeking trade deals with the U.S. after President Trump threatened to hit both with a 30% tariff starting on August 1st. The EU has postponed retaliatory measures on U.S. goods that were set to kick in today. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, New York.
A U.S. Special Envoy Keith Kellogg arrived in Ukraine's capital, Kyiv, this morning. A Ukrainian official says Kellogg is there to discuss multiple issues, including security, weapons, and sanctions. And this weekend marks 1 year since the assassination attempt on President Trump in Butler, Pennsylvania. A gunman opened fire during a campaign rally, grazing Mr. Trump's ear. This week, the agency suspended 6 agents without pay in connection with the security failure. The agency also made other changes, including upgrades that allow agents to communicate over radio directly with local law enforcement. Well, still to come, winners revealed in a new competition aimed at highlighting high-flying aerial photographers, and one Shutterbug astronaut on the ISS captures an incredible shot of her own. It's coming up in today's Take a Look at This. Plus, we've got some dense fog out there. We also have pop-up storm chances. We're going to have another look at your forecast. Time now is 6:13. We'll be right back. Well, first of its kind competition features the best of world-class aerial photography, and one winner has soared above the rest. Jeremy Roth has today's Take a Look at This.
Take a look at the best from a brand new photography competition aimed at highlighting talented and artistic eyes in the skies. These are some of the finalist images from the inaugural International Aerial Photographer of the Year competition. In its first year, the contest saw more than 1,500 submissions from fearless photogs all around the world who took to the skies via planes, drones, hot air balloons, and more in an effort to cast light on the breadth, beauty, and sometimes brutality of the natural world. Highlights include this twisting tree of ice pattern forming in the waters of Greenland, a beautiful byproduct of a calving glacier, and this haunting look at an active Icelandic volcano, from which cracks in lava formed a surreal smoking skull of sorts. But top honors for the inaugural Aerial Photographer of the Year went to New Yorker Joanna Steidel for her collection of stunning shots of marine life, all captured within a mere 10 miles of her Long Island home. It just goes to show you don't necessarily have to go far to capture breathtaking bird's eye views of the world. You just have to go up. More winners and finalist submissions can be viewed in the ebook on internationalaerialphotographer.com. Well, not to be outdone, one Shutterbug who was flying higher than any of the aforementioned photogs captured an incredible shot from her perch on the International Space Station. Astronaut Nicole Ayers nabbed this incredible view of a weather phenomenon called a sprite, an event triggered by intense electrical activity that happens above the clouds of active thunderstorms. Captured above the U.S. and Mexico, the luminous natural event is seen literally outshining the artificial light of surrounding cities. For Take a Look at This, I'm Jeremy Roth.
Some incredible aerial shots, even the ones from above the Earth's surface, by far above for sure. All right, we're going to take a look at your forecast here in just a moment. We do have a pretty decent start to the day. We do also have some patchy dense fog, and we have pop-up storm chances. We are going to look at all of that and a lot more when the KOAM Morning News returns. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News, 6:20 now on this Monday morning. We're starting with the fog tracker where just about everybody's got reduced visibilities. We've got Fort Scott now down to just under 2 miles. We've got some dense fog, parts of Labette and Montgomery counties, as well as the northern portions of Newada and Craig counties. And there you get to see an update right there. Chanute now dropping below a mile of visibility. Dense fog also below a mile around the Grand Lake area, stretching into parts of Benton County, Anderson. Really just about everywhere is being impacted by fog to some level. So, of course, remember, low beams, not your high beams. Fog lights, if you've got them, slow down. Give yourself time to get where you're going. And the other part of it is to be prepared for rapidly changing visibility conditions where you could go for a couple of miles and things are fine, and all of a sudden you get to points where visibility drops to near zero. So you don't want to be just speeding along without being prepared to slow down out there and keep distance between you, of course, and the car ahead of you. Fog should be done 8, 9 o'clock. Then we'll head into the afternoon. We are looking at isolated pop-up storm chances. Again, Future Track showing us where it believes the better chances are south of I-44, but with pop-up storms, they could be anywhere across the area, roughly between 11 a.m. and 7 p.m. today. We'll have partly cloudy skies overnight, and we'll have another round of some pop-up storms, maybe even some actual thunderstorms trying to sneak into our far southern counties here early in the morning. After that, once we head into the afternoon hours, those pop-up storm chances return, and then they'll go away again. again as we lose the heating of the day. Same on Wednesday. Now on Wednesday, we're picking up on the cloud cover, but Future Track is not picking up on pop-up storm chances. So I don't believe the chance is zero, but I do think that the chances for pop-up storms Wednesday are going to be considerably more isolated compared to what we could see today and tomorrow. But still, that will remain a possibility through our Wednesday afternoon. Through this morning, take a look at that beautiful sunrise again here from 7th and Rangeline in Joplin. You can see the fog off in the horizon there. That fog again continuing through about 8, 9. We'll be in near 80 by 8 o'clock this morning. Those isolated thunderstorm chances, the pop-up storm chances starting around 11, mid-80s. We'll eventually go into the upper 80s. It'll kind of stop warming, and we'll eventually also have a light east breeze or calm winds. And again, highs today below normal before they turn around and start to go a little bit hotter this week. Partly cloudy through the evening and overnight, back into the low 70s. Tomorrow, southwest breeze 5 to 10, pop-up storms low 90s. And as we cruise into the weekend, pop-up storm chances at least through Thursday. We'll have temperatures climbing into the low to mid 90s, which also means as we are in July, we could start seeing heat index values out there climbing in the 100 to 105 degree range later this week. So again, if you're working outside, got to do stuff outdoors, just make sure you're staying hydrated, taking care of yourself, and of course, just keeping an eye on things. And with the pop-up storms, remember too, when thunder roars, head indoors. Let's check out your forecast. Switching over to Health Watch this morning. Long-term obesity may make young people age faster than normal. Now, a study from Chile has revealed some information and looked at adults ages 28 to 31 who had persistent obesity and found that many markers associated with biological aging were accelerated anywhere from 15 to 48% compared to people who were not obese. Researchers say there is concern these signs of aging could raise the risk for several chronic health issues. Recreational cannabis use is on the rise after more states have legalized the substance. A study published in JAMA looked at the effect of legalization efforts and found after 5 years there was a 3% increase in recreational cannabis use. But the study also noted that while there were initial concerns cannabis legalization would also increase cigarette use, that hasn't happened. And for people taking popular weight loss drugs, losing muscle is a common side effect. A study presented at the Endocrine Society's annual meeting found eating more protein while taking semaglutide, that one, may help prevent muscle loss. Research showed as much as 40% of the weight loss from taking semaglutide. There we are. That one comes from lean mass, including muscle. Older adults and women are at a greater risk for muscle loss. A concern over climate change is impacting the mental health of millions of Americans, according to a new poll from the American Psychiatric Association. Now, two groups in particular appear to be most likely to be impacted. CBS's Jared Hill spoke with mental health experts to find out how people can help relieve their anxiety.
Deadly flooding in Texas.
Just don't even know where to start, where to begin. It's devastating.
The latest catastrophic natural disaster weighing on the minds of Americans. More than 40% of adults report climate change is impacting their mental health, according to a recent survey from the American Psychiatric Association. About a third worry about the issue on a weekly basis, suggesting it's a significant source of stress. Do you worry about climate change?
I worry a lot. I have been worrying.
As a practicing psychiatrist, when I see patients, these are issues that are coming up.
Dr. Gregory Scott Brown says the research shows people with children and younger adults express the most anxiety.
People who have longer perceived futures are worried about fires and floods and other natural disasters.
It's something Antonina and Will Pattis are concerned about as they think about where to raise their daughter.
One place we are considering is the West Coast, where the climate is slightly milder, but to Will's point, we do have to worry about wildfires more.
Psychiatrists say if you're experiencing climate anxiety that's preventing you from living your life, it's time to reach out to a mental health professional.
I think just opening up a conversation and talking to someone you trust can help. We know that climate change can cause increased anxiety, it can cause depression, and a host of other mental health concerns. So it's important that we're paying attention to it.
Dr. Brown says self-care, good nutrition, and sleep can help relieve anxiety and limit how much media you consume about climate disasters if it's making you anxious. Jared Hill, CBS News, New York.
As a look at some of our top health stories, time now 6:27. We'll be right back. Right now at 6:30, how local vendors are helping raise funds to grow a Joplin park. And we've got a beautiful sunrise. We also have some patchy fog out there and the chances for pop-up storms returning. We'll have a look at your forecast. And 1 year after the assassination attempt on President Trump, the Secret Service takes action.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It is now 6:30. I'm Chris Warner and it is Monday, July the 14th. Happy Monday to everyone. Again, hopefully you had a great weekend. I know we had some storm chances. We made it to the pool. May not have been a long time, but we did make it to the pool this weekend. Hopefully you were able to enjoy some outdoor activities. And if you are going to be enjoying outdoor activities over the next couple of days, or the next several days, you want to make sure you're staying hydrated as well, as temperatures are expected to climb. Let's start with that look outside, shall we? From downtown. Wow. Sorry, that view has changed a lot since the last time we saw it. Take a look at that fog that has rolled in on the eastern side there of Pittsburgh. Some very dense fog is building across the area, which is why we've been talking about slowing down, using your low beams, not your high beams. You guys know the drill at this point. Then take a look at the view. MoDOT camera, 20th and range line. Looks considerably better, visibility a little better, at least from there. So take a look. So again, Pittsburgh right now is the last update of the fog tracker was 8.3 miles. It is very clear that that is not the case now. We have some patchy, dense fog across the entire region. Grove, Chanute, both below 1 mile of visibility. This is impacting virtually every portion of the area. Bentonville right now, the only spot with clear visibility, but as you can see, you go around Grand Lake, western Benton County, back through Delaware County, visibilities drop off pretty sharply. So again, just be careful this morning. And if you're a few minutes late, remember, it's better to be a little late than not arrive at all. Just watch out also for rapidly changing visibilities. That could be a possibility as well through the morning. Once fog burns off, we're looking at partly cloudy skies into the afternoon. We'll have those opportunities for pop-up storm chances. And again, they'll be anywhere, not just necessarily confined south of I-44, with the best window between 2 p.m. and 7 p.m., but we could really see any from about 11 a.m., which is a little earlier than usual, but from 11 a.m. through 7 this evening. We're sitting at 68 in Joplin. Yeah, look at that view also. This is the KDOT camera again. This one is near Kansas Crossing. It's at that intersection there looking back to the north, and you can see how dense that fog is, so do be cautious. Temperatures across the area this morning sitting into the upper 60s. Still have a few low 70s, southern counties, western counties out there, and we'll eventually start to warm. We're going to be mid-70s by 9 o'clock, low 80s by noon. Highs today, one more day below normal as we go into the upper 80s out there. Isolated pop-up storm chances. Winds will be calm or possibly a light breeze out of the east. Pop-up storm chances continue for the next few days, and our temperatures will continue to climb. We're going to go over those details with you in the full forecast, and of course that's coming up here in just a few more minutes. And this morning's top story is North Heights Market in the Park took place at the Michael and Jerry Lynn Joseph Family Park in Joplin. An event had around 40 vendors selling things from plants, clothing, and even pine cone creations and pet tag engraving. Now, the market's goal is to raise funds for new things to enjoy at the park.
Well, the North Heights Neighborhood Group manages this park, and we do a lot of other events like Porch Fest and just community projects. And we were looking for some fundraisers to, get some money to do different things at the park, put in a gazebo and a shed for our lawn equipment and just various things.
Now, each market is held at the second Saturday of each month from April through September. And Cruisapalooza has once again hit King Jack Park in Webb City. Now, the event not only offered food trucks, live entertainment, and a petting zoo, there were also a car show, a lot more things to do. It also raised awareness for Hope for 22 a Day, a charity that deals with veteran suicide, and What Makes Us Fire, a charity for first responders.
I like the Mustangs personally, but that's just me. And I think they're all amazing. I think they're really cool. Because sadly, I don't get a lot of time to sit there and go out there and look at all the different cars and stuff. So.
The Cruisapalooza fireworks show was moved to Saturday due to bad weather. And while the rain was intense Saturday, it didn't deter Pittsburgh residents from holding the 3rd annual SEK Kite Fest at Pittsburgh High School. Professional kite flyers from across the nation showed up to the festival to demonstrate kite flying. All kites are free, and the event teaches kids about teamwork and about physics.
If you fly a kite, it will give you some power that, you can go as high as you want if you have a right string.
And the event was moved because of from May, actually, due to the weather back in May. And knife makers gather at Buffalo Run in Miami for a forging competition and knife show. KOM's Mitch Adams brings us more details.
It's something that you can carry this as far as you want. As far as your imagination will allow you, you can build some really, really neat stuff.
Face Off at the Forge, where craftsmanship meets fire and steel.
It's not for everybody. It's for it's something that if you're really passionate about things, and you can be as good as you want. If you're a very picky person, this may be for you. If you are a person that loves things to be exact, this could be for you.
Knife makers from across the country gathered to demonstrate their skills, showcasing the art of bladesmithing with live forge competitions.
I mean, this is really a cool deal that this guy's put on. We don't have a whole lot of shows. We drive 5 hours to a show usually, so this one was 6. I was very fortunate that he offered give me the opportunity to come up here. We got lucky. We won 5 awards. Wound up winning Best of Show, one folder, buoy, Best EDC, fighter. So
attendees explore booths offering unique handcrafted knives and the essential materials needed for forging, whether a seasoned smith or a beginner. Organizers say that this is the perfect place to learn about bladesmithing, no matter your expertise level.
There are plenty of very high-skilled people that they can learn this from. The trade, and do it while you can, and don't. It's one of those things that people are going to look up to for generations to come.
In Miami, Oklahoma, Mitch Adams, KOAM News.
Now, celebrity knife makers from the television show Forged in Fire were at the show, meeting guests and selling knives. And that's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. Tariff tensions, why new levies on Mexican and European goods aren't taking effect. Plus, President Trump makes a surprise appearance on the world stage, handing out the FIFA Club World Cup trophy to Chelsea. All the latest on that, you're watching the KOAM Morning News. Time now 6:37, and here is a live look from the Don Brady Park located in Seneca. In Consumer Watch this morning, the European Union is delaying planned retaliatory tariffs on U.S. products in hopes of reaching a trade deal with the Trump administration. The levies were originally set to kick in today. This after President Donald Trump threatened to slap a 30% tariff on goods from the EU and Mexico starting August the 1st. Mexico's president says her country and the U.S. are, quote, seeking to reach an agreement so that these tariffs do not exist. Multiple mushroom recalls were announced over the weekend because the products could be contaminated with listeria. The recall affects Aunt Mid's and Peter's sliced mushrooms, which were distributed in Ohio and Michigan, and also LLK Trading's needle mushrooms distributed in New York. The Food and Drug Administration says no illnesses have been reported so far. Anyone who has the recalled mushrooms are urged to return them to the place of purchase for a full refund. And Superman soared to the top of the weekend box office, opening with $122 million in North America. Jurassic World Rebirth roared to the second spot with $40 million. F1 the movie hasn't run out of gas just yet, hauling in $13 million to round out the top three. And the future of Medicaid and SNAP is a big worry for many people in Missouri after President Trump signed his major spending and tax bill. According to the Kaiser Family Foundation, over the next 10 years under the Big Beautiful Bill, the state of Missouri is expected to lose roughly $17 billion in Medicaid benefits. In Arkansas, that number is around $10 billion. Chris Bryant has more from Springfield.
It's going to add a great deal of cost to the state of Missouri. And impact a huge number of people.
According to the Missouri Budget Project, it estimates the added cost to Missouri from the Big Beautiful Bill will be roughly $20 billion.
And it also shifts the burden of financing those programs to the state in ways that are very unique and very expensive.
For comparison, in 2025, Missouri adapted Medicaid changes that, according to data from the Federal Reserve Bank of Philadelphia, showed a 3% decrease in Medicaid spending, affecting nearly 470,000 people in the state.
The good news is that some of these changes don't begin immediately. In fact, none of them begin immediately. Most of them have a phase-in period between the end of this year and a year or two from now.
KFF predicts uninsured in Missouri will increase by 140,000 people, with 100,000 of those coming from changes to Medicaid.
What we'll see in Missouri is actually the first thing that will take effect is actually a positive, and that is the rural transformation funding will go into effect before any of the cuts.
The Missouri Hospital Association says when it comes to the work requirement portion of the bill, 90% of those who receive benefits already meet the new requirements.
To tell that story about how valuable this coverage is to them, meaning how it affects their health, how it allows them to continue to be workers and caregivers and parents.
While the individual coverage is one part, the future of hospitals and clinics in the state of Missouri is another.
Myself personally, I would like to pay close attention to those hospitals in the rural areas, because that's where my big concern was. That's areas that are stretched enough as it is right now.
We need to be a state that thrives in healthcare. I mean, we have 3-4 cities with lots of healthcare providers, and we're about to lose our rural community providers, and that's going to put more strain on people that are sick in the rural areas, because they're going to have to find a way to drive 2 or 3 hours.
For the rural hospitals that currently run on razor-thin margins, they could have to cut even more and make up the loss in other ways.
About $1.4 billion of those cuts will come out of the rural hospitals.
Now, currently in Springfield, when it comes to inpatient per diem rates paid to hospitals, Mercy Springfield receives just over $2,330 and Cox Health receives just over $2,203. That's it for Consumer Watch this morning. We've got patchy fog across the area. It's been pretty dense at times. You can see some of that rolling into parts of the Pittsburgh area this morning as well. We also have pop-up storm chances this week. We're going to go over all those details with you and celebrate birthdays and anniversaries right after this. Time now for some Monday birthdays in the 4 states, and we're going to start in Arma with Creedon O'Banion celebrating birthday number 11. It says happy birthday from Mama, love you to the moon and back. We also have Malin Fordyce in Joplin celebrating birthday number 14 today. A very happy birthday to you. We also have Kaylin and Garrett Jansen celebrating a birthday. They're not twins, but they are brother and sister. Just happen to celebrate the same birthday in different years. Kaylin turning 15, Jansen celebrating birthday number 12 in Fall River, Kansas. And we have Phyllis King in West Mineral celebrating birthday number 74 today. A very happy birthday to you. As well as Mary David in Walnut. Wait, sorry, I thought I was skipping one here. Mary David celebrating birthday number 88. And in Girard, Mike and Missy Cisney celebrating their 25th wedding anniversary with love from your family. We also have Mark Howerton in Carthage celebrating another year wiser. And our list continues with Kyler Saporito in Columbus celebrating birthday number 17. Tammy Bennett in Joplin celebrating number 85 today. Jeff and Kim Crane in Columbus are celebrating their 41st wedding anniversary. Ruth Hale celebrating a birthday in Columbus. And John Bates in Arma also celebrating another year wiser. And of course, very happy birthday and anniversary to everyone on our list. And if you would like to celebrate with us and join in on celebrating your loved ones, all you need to do is submit your birthdays and anniversaries to the email address you see on your screen. That's birthdays with an S there at KOAMnewsnow.com. Make sure you include photos because those are always fantastic. And of course, you've got to give us some information. We need to know when your celebration is. That way it airs at the right time. And of course, you see at the bottom of your screen there is a deadline to ensure it airs on time as well. Make sure you follow that, and we will be happy to celebrate with you. You will be happy if you have fog lights on your car. Otherwise, you need to use your low beams. Take a look at this. We've got some reduced visibilities everywhere. Again, except Bentonville, technically still reporting 10 miles visibility. But this is impacting every highway, virtually every county, everywhere you go. Dense fog, eastern portions of southwest Missouri here, so Mount Vernon, Monette, Cassville, stretching through Barry, Lawrence counties. We've got it around Stockton, Chanute, under a mile of visibility, almost right around half-mile visibility. Yates Center, Parsons, Fredonia, Independence. You kind of get the idea. A lot more dense fog, widespread across parts of Kansas and Oklahoma, but again, reduced visibility is just about everywhere. So slow down, give yourself time to get where you're going. And as I've mentioned, your low beams, not your high beams, because that doesn't help anybody. It will not help you. And also be prepared for rapidly changing visibility conditions, because you can run into spots where things look okay for a minute, and then all of a sudden your visibility just drops like that to almost nothing. So do be cautious this morning. Once the fog burns off a little later this morning, we'll have partly cloudy skies. We are looking at pop-up storm chances. Now, Future Track thinks the better chances may be along and south of I-44, but with pop-up storms, they could be anywhere across the area. The window is from roughly 11 this morning through 7 this evening. We'll go partly cloudy overnight and into our Tuesday. Could get a few thunderstorms from a complex well to our south that try and sneak into our southern counties in the morning hours. After that, though, we go right back to those isolated pop-up storm chances, and that will continue again on our Wednesday. Now, Future Track for Wednesday really not picking up, as you can see, on much of anything in terms of pop-up storms. Just really, I think the chances are considerably lower. Like pop-up storm chances, they're not always that great as it is, but it is a bit lower as we head into our Wednesday. But nonetheless, still there. And the big thing to remember, of course, is when thunder roars, head indoors. Just wait out these storms. You can see those wind arrows starting to pick up Wednesday as well. So we're looking at some gusty southwest winds as we head into Wednesday. All right, starting our day. Patchy fog again, continuing through about 8, maybe 9 o'clock. Otherwise partly cloudy. And it took me all morning to realize, and I apologize for you folks at home, you probably noticed it long before I did not change the temperature numbers here. It just finally dawned on me we were warmer at 11 a.m. than we were at noon, which didn't add up. These are correct, though. Low 70s to start our day, and we'll be into the low 80s by 11 o'clock this morning. We're going to have another look at your forecast, plus your wake-up recap, and when the KOAM Morning News transitions to Fox 14 at 7 a.m., or, of course, if you're streaming with us on KOAM Plus, just stay right where you are, and we're going to tell you about a Denver museum that made its biggest discovery, and it was right under its feet. All right, here is a look at your wake-up recap for this Monday, July the 14th. A house fire alerted first responders just before 1:45 Sunday morning near Carl Junction on County Lane 263. CJ Fire Protection District, along with the Webb City Fire and Jasper County deputies, responded to the scene. A double-wide mobile home was found fully involved with fire, and the roof was caving in. Authorities tell us no one currently lives there. The cause of the fire is unknown at this time. And the Kansas State Firefighters Association, in collaboration with the Yates Center Fire Department, held a 2-day fire school for firefighters from across the state. Some skills taught included search and rescue, how to read smoke, ventilation, and grain elevator emergencies. The KSFFA hosts these regional trainings once a month. And Cruisapalooza once again at King Jack Park in Webb City. The event raised awareness for Hope for 22 a Day, a charity that deals with veteran suicide, and What Makes Us Fight, a charity for first responders. And that's a check of this morning's Wake Up Recap. And of course, patchy dense fog across nearly the entire area this morning. So again, slow down. Low beams, not your high beams. Make sure you're giving yourself time to get where you're going this morning. After the fog burns off, we'll go with the possibility of some pop-up storms roughly between 11 a.m. and 7 p.m. Otherwise, partly cloudy. Temperatures still technically below normal today as we go into the upper 80s. Heading into the evening, storm chances will wrap up. Still partly cloudy, though. Mid-70s by 10 and into the low 70s overnight tonight. As we head into the rest of the week, though, a couple of things. 1, pop-up storm chances continue through at least Thursday. 2, temperatures begin to rise. I know last week we talked about maybe some below normal temperatures second half of this week. We were also looking at maybe some extra cloud cover and maybe a little more than just some pop-up storms. Not going to be the case, though. So we're going to heat up. Low to mid-90s, and as we head toward the middle to end of this week, that could send our heat index values climbing from 100 to 105. So we certainly want to keep an eye on that. Of course, make sure you're staying hydrated and taking care of yourself out there. Well, coming up today at noon, we're making firecracker barbecued pork in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen. And your morning news continues on KOAM with CBS Mornings, or you can switch on over with us to Fox 14, where your only local morning news continues. And this morning, Molly Smith from Cardboard Theater joins us in the studio to talk about their upcoming production, plus AJ Stock from Charlie 22 also joining us in the studio, talk about their annual banquet, which is happening this weekend. It's going to wrap it up for us for now, though. We'll be back here tomorrow morning at 5. Have a great day.